You'll have to forgive us. It's fun, but we get kind of bounced around, and it's a little bit of a challenge, like kind of starting back at zero again. So let me just give you a quick rundown. And sorry, I'm in the car with my kids. They're a little bit loud. Actually, Chase, I'm gonna try to quiet my kids down while you talk at the beginning.
You got it. All right, so we are the Hatch Project. What we do is we are what we like to call an entrepreneurial incubator. So we take companies that may be just ideas, they're not actually companies yet, and help them become companies, or we help companies that are still small grow until they can, fly on their own, so to speak. Some of those companies are us, some of those companies are other people, but it's just, we try to take small companies and grow them into something till they can go off on their own. We've been doing it for a couple of years now. Kind of the way we got started, to give you a little background, was there was a group of friends. We were all Remington's friends. Kind of got this group together and started by just calling all of us to ask for help with his own business ventures. And then it turned into us all kind of consulting with each other until we decided to make it more of an official thing where we could consult with each other in order to solve problems that we were having in our businesses, and that other friends that we were having help them solve their problems in their businesses as well. Kind of in the process, we were learning a lot and decided that maybe we could learn even faster if we decided to dive more into these businesses with our friends and see what we can do to help them out. In doing so, we decided to start bringing on interns, and that was just about a year and a half ago now. We decided to start bringing in interns to help them. If we're going to be able to learn like this by just kind of diving into all these different businesses, interns probably can too. So we decided to bring in interns, trying to basically build an internship system that helps create internships that will help interns get to their dream positions. One question that I personally like to ask all of our potential interns is, what is your dream job? And when they tell us what their dream job is, that gives us a really good direction that we can navigate towards in creating an internship that will help them create the portfolio that they would need to bring to their dream job. One thing we like to say a lot is that we are not a go get the coffee internship. Much more go to a small business, help them solve their problems, and really kind of put you in the deep end on learning what you're going to be doing in your future endeavors professionally. That's kind of a quick breakdown and background of what we are. Did I miss anything, Remmington?
So the internships that we're offering this semester, we have a podcasting producer internship, which is basically the ins and outs of preparing, recording, editing, and publishing a podcast. Same thing for video type stuff. So that's going to deal with, like, obviously recording and editing, but also scripting. And then we have graphic design and social media and general communication. So the kind of, and like Chase was saying, we kind of put those out there as like templates, but really whenever we interview with people, both like in the hiring process and then after, we really focus on trying to understand what your goals and needs are for your career, and so that we can kind of not warp, that's not a great word for that, morph the internship to fit more of what you're looking for, right? And so because Chase and I work with all the different aspects of business, and communication is a huge part of that. It's probably the biggest part of business is communication. And so we're able to kind of take and move around those different tasks to each person, or to the people that would benefit most from learning and implementing those things. So it's very like customized, I guess you could say. But yeah, well, what questions do you guys have? I hate to just like talk the entire time and then just be like, wow, it's so boring. What do you guys want to know?
I have a question.
Right.
So as far as your like internship program, when you have interns come on, are they interns like for your company and like what you're doing, or do you branch them off to the like clients that you work with to be their interns?
That's a great question. So each semester is a little bit different. I'm going to answer this with like some context and then get to that. So each semester is a little bit different. We've had some semesters where we've only worked with one client, and some where we've worked with like 5 at a time. And sometimes, and again, I don't always know going into each semester how it's going to be, but sometimes will kind of be a middleman between you and the client, and sometimes we'll have you working directly with clients. So both of those have happened, where it's like, hey, you know what, there's this client, we need you to interact directly with them, gather the information from them, et cetera, et cetera. And then sometimes it's like, hey, you're going to work with us. And sometimes if we don't have a whole bunch of external clients at a given time, then Chase and I will create projects to work on. And so there's always something to do, but sometimes it's with someone else and sometimes it's just with us. And I wish I had a good solid answer of what this semester is going to look like, but I imagine it's going to be a lot with just Chase and myself as at least a middleman or as the project leads. But we might be able to get some other things in there too. It just kind of depends.
Yep, and every once in a while, when the Hatch project itself needs some revamping, the Hatch project itself gets a little up there too. Hopefully we answered your question, but the answer is probably both.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Yeah, sorry for that terrible answer. What other questions do you guys have?
Can I add to that? One thing,
Please.
So like Remmington was saying, is that when Chase and Remmington interview, what I've observed from our side of things through the internship office is sometimes you are placed in a project that isn't quite your passion, but you're building skills that help you develop as a student and a person, and so you can move forward. And we've noticed students thrive just learning new things, but we've also noticed that like in one instance, a student was placed on another project midway through and ended up thriving from that. And so we've noticed that they do try to work with your skills and your goals. Of course, that's not always like 100% on target, but in the end, the lesson that you learned is, and the skills you learn are applicable to what you are hoping to do. So it's kind of a teamwork from the beginning, and then you're assigned to different projects. That's just what we've observed from the internship office. So that's why communication up front is good, because then you have a better understanding of where you're going.
Thank you for that.
Nicole, can you just come with us to each of these hops that we're doing for the next like 30 minutes? That'd be fantastic. Just come along with us.
That would be marketing and sales and just kidding. Brand image, I don't know.
That's right. What other questions do you guys have? We're open books, so we'll talk about anything. My favorite food's pizza. Yep. So if you bring a pizza to an interview, you're more likely to get a job with us.
What skills are you looking to develop, ladies? Writing and hands-on. Another was tech and writing. Any of you looking for like podcasts or video or design, or what types of skills do you hope to improve through an internship?
I think, sorry, I'm the only one that's talking, but I'll talk again. I think that something I've been noticing, especially like just throughout our program and also in like little campus internships and stuff, I think we focus a lot on like social media management and like how we're gonna market things, how we're gonna project things onto like Publix and all that kind of thing. But I think one thing that sometimes we don't think very much about is like the creative aspect of like what we're doing with our social media and like the design that goes into posting, and also just like the creativity that has to go into captions and that kind of thing. So I think that's something that's really important, and something that I would like to kind of have some experience with is just the more creative side of doing social media marketing.
We do a lot of that. That's a lot of where our time is spent. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot more to say on that in a short amount of time, to be honest. But yeah, I have spent time in another life as a designer, so to speak, and that's a lot of what we spend our time on, is designing social media, and not just designing the individual posts, but also designing a social media presence overall. For example, one thing that I really is one of my pet peeves is scrolling through Instagram and scrolling on someone's page and it not having any design on the page overall, just on the individual posts. So yeah, it's something we spend a lot of time on. Remington, you still there? You went dark. Any other questions, comments?
I am here. I'm just my child is starting to want to be super fussy, so I'm going to be in and out with my volume or my mute. So
Cool.
But yeah, we do we do all that stuff. I mean, yeah.
Spend a lot of time on.
Yeah, what are the
design.
questions you guys have? What do you guys yeah, like design, like word design, like graphic design, like all the different things. Do you know what I mean? Like when we come up with different titles and copy, and we write emails and do all different forms of communication to people with different purposes and different voices, depending on the kind of the businesses we're writing for and our purposes. And so there's so much to communication, and I know you guys learn a whole bunch in your program. But what we're going to be doing is applying it. And the thing is, like, we care very much about how everything is perceived by the clients that we work with. And so, we're like, it's going to be professional grade. So we're going to like help you and nudge and make adjustments along the way and improve your skills on a practical level. And that's really our main goal, right? To make everybody happy and learning and have good finished products. And then that's stuff for your portfolios as well. So that's what it's all about.
If you've got any other questions, I think we're about to get moved around. If you got any other questions, the Hatch Project group at Gmail, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. So feel free to hit us up later.
There's also some of your listings on our jobs board.
Yes, there are.
And thank you for that, Nicole. You guys have been, your whole team has been just absolutely amazing.
Happy to help.
Cool. Any other questions? They might not get answered because we might get moved, but it could be fun to play a little bit of roulette.
I guess
Lively.
the question, you talked about video making, which is something that I could be interested in learning more about how to do. I guess what sort of videos are you making? Like, does it just vary a lot, or?
I think right now it's mostly having to do with one podcast video and then two kind of your general YouTuber style stuff. But in the same vein as the podcast would be in. So long form, 1.5 hour long podcast, all the way down to short form, 5-minute videos and lots of things in between. Yep. Hopefully that answers your question a little bit. Mostly YouTube, speaking, not necessarily movie creation.
Okay, that's probably better.
Does run a movie studio.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but he's probably not going to be working with us a whole bunch. But well, yeah, one of our founders does run a movie studio.